Ladies and gentlemen, why are Jamaicans so great? Why are Jamaicans so great at what they do? Have you realized that Jamaicans are still dominating world athletics? They are also dominating Diamond League. Why are Jamaicans this great? Sometimes I believe it's like God, when God was creating heaven and earth, he created human beings. Jamaicans. Yes, God first created Jamaicans in a very special place, and he went ahead and instructed Jamaicans, behold, go and rule over the earth. Ladies and gentlemen, for the Christians watching me here, do you know Jamaicans start running as early as 5 years old? Are you aware that Jamaicans start running as early as 5 years old? Some of our kids at that age, at that typical age, probably they are playing video games somewhere. Maybe they are watching some funny things on their phone. But at 5 years old, a typical Jamaican kid is on the field running. Imagine when that kid becomes an adult. Imagine that when that kid becomes, a full-grown adult. One thing I love about Jamaican kids, they have already decided, they have already made up their mind what they are going to be when they are growing, when they grow old or when they grow up. They have seen Usain Bolt running, they have seen Asafa Powell running, or maybe they have even seen Johan Blake running and said, I want to be like Johan Blake when I grow up. That kid has already made up his mind that he's going to be a sprinter. So when they reach that age, they become very good. Very, very good, ladies and gentlemen. Not like some of us. When we were growing up, we were gambling what careers we are going to be. Some of us wanted to be doctors, then we realized that doctors is hard. Oh, we want to be nurse, then we realized again nurse is not easy either. We were still gambling. But for a Jamaican kid, I want to be a sprinter. I want to be a sprinter. Shout like a laser. For instance, look at sprinters like Alana Reid, Tia Clayton, or the Clayton twins. Ladies and gentlemen, look at Sherika Jackson. Do you think that they started running when they are adults? No. They started running, they started sprinting as early as 5 years old. By the time they were in their junior high school, they were already breaking records. They were already performing extremely very well. They start at the grassroots levels, ladies and gentlemen. So by the time that they are on a Diamond League or World Athletics, they are already breaking records. And you know one thing that I've also come to realize about Jamaican sprinters, they just don't want to win. They want to dominate the world. Those are two different things. Let me repeat that again. They don't want to win. They don't just want to win. If that is the right word. They don't just want to win. They want also to dominate the world. Now imagine racing a person with that attitude. Imagine, are you going to win this person? Are you really going to win? Someone who wants to dominate the world. You are racing with this person on the same track. You can't, ladies and gentlemen. These guys have, confidence, good confidence. Look at people like Kishan Thompson. They didn't start running today. Kishan Thompson didn't start running today. Johan Blake didn't start running today. The new Jamaican jet, Rashid Foster. You have seen how he has dominated in the Diamond in Guangzhou. You saw what did you see what Rashid Foster did in Guangzhou? When he was running against Britain and Ferguson. That guy is very fast. Rashid Foster is very fast. Ladies and gentlemen, thing that makes Jamaican sprinters to be so great, they have, very good coaches. Look at Glenn Mills, the founder of Racers Track. Ladies and gentlemen, Glenn Mills started coaching when he was, 15 years old. And there was one time when his coaching career was almost threatened when he was still coaching at Camperdown High School. Ladies and gentlemen. But either way, the school still retained him. And up to date, he is one of the best coaches in the entire world, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, we also have Steven Francis, the founder of MVP, that is maximizing velocity and power. Both of these track fields, they have best sprinters, and there is even at some point where they compete against each other, ladies and gentlemen. Imagine competing among the best competing among the best. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, that idea of sport, of competing among the best in Jamaica really pushes Jamaican sprinters to their potential high rate. They become very good. You find Sharika Jackson racing against Tia Clayton. You find Shelly-Ann Fraser racing against Sharika Jackson. They are competing among themselves. Imagine you are so great, until now you can only compete among yourselves, because there's no any other way. There's no any other person who can compete against you. And it has been like that even in normal race. It reached a point where nobody could beat Jamaican sprinters. Now they had to compete among themselves. We have even seen instances whereby it's a Jamaican racing in Britain. It has a Jamaican blood, but he's racing against his fellow own Jamaicans. That is, Jamaicans racing against themselves. And this is why I feel and I strongly believe that the person that will eventually break Usain Bolt record 9.58 seconds is a Jamaican. Even though they are saying, there are speculations, it's Gau for Australia, but I strongly believe that the person that will eventually break Usain Bolt record will come from Jamaica, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know who it is, but I strongly believe, and my hopes are on Jamaican people. I still support Jamaican people to the end. Ladies and gentlemen, someone asked me, why do you love Jamaicans so much? I said, it's because of what they stand for. It's because of the hard work they put into what they do. It doesn't matter what it is, even if it's business. They put a lot of hard work and belief in what they do, ladies and gentlemen. Another thing that I also noticed about Jamaicans, they are very straightforward with their truth. Even if they are going to stand alone, a Jamaican will never lie to you. They don't lie to you. They say things in black and green. We live in a society where people want to be praised even when they are doing wrong things. But for a Jamaican, it's a total different thing. When you do wrong, they tell it to your face. You know what? Here you are doing wrong. Here you are doing wrong and it's not right. Please behave. Even if he's your friend, even if he's your, if you're going to be a Jamaican friend, let me tell you this. Let me prepare you for this. Prepare for the truth. They are not going to lie to you. They are not going to praise you even when you are doing something wrong. No. If you are doing something wrong, they're going to come and tell it to your face. That's who they are. I love honest people, ladies and gentlemen. I really love honest. Ladies and gentlemen, this is why I love Jamaicans. They are the confidence. Another thing why Jamaicans are so great and why I still respect them up to date is because they know their worth. They know their value. They know what they are putting on the table is something that is very great, ladies and gentlemen. I've just told you, when Jamaicans are going to race, they already know they have won this race even before it begins. And they are not only coming to win, no, they are coming to dominate the entire race. Imagine that kind. Imagine having even a speckle of that attitude. You can go very far, right? Yeah, you can go very far. You can never put a Jamaican down. You can't. They walk with confidence. But when it comes to the real deals, when it comes to business, when it comes to sports, when it comes to education, you can't beat them. I've just told you, I've made a series of videos of Jamaicans, dominating in space engineering. Jamaican lady who went to MIT, the first Jamaican to become a space engineer, rocket science, ladies and gentlemen. Meaning they're also very good at what they do, very good at business. When it comes to real deals, you can't defeat those guys. You can't defeat those guys, ladies and gentlemen. This is why I like these guys, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm not lying. I am not lying. Always walk and talk, behave like a Jamaican. If there are some things that you ought to emulate from the Jamaican people, is their level of confidence, how they walk, how they talk, how they handle life. And one important fact is almost every country in this world needs a Jamaican. Almost every country, ladies and gentlemen. Look at the superpowers in this world. There are a lot of Jamaicans. Look at in the US, for instance. There are a lot of Jamaicans in top positions. There are a lot of Jamaicans in aerospace engineering. There are a lot of Jamaicans even in sprinting. There are a lot of Jamaicans even in education, in medicine. Look at Britain, the same thing. Europe, the same thing. A lot of them are into sprinting. A lot of them are into education. A lot of them are into business, ladies and gentlemen. Every country has an attachment of Jamaican people. Every country. So these are people you cannot get rid of. This world needs Jamaican. Imagine waking up and there are no Jamaicans. Imagine. Where will we get our healing from, ladies and gentlemen? Another thing that I really love about Jamaicans is how they, love African people. They actively love African people. They have actively participated in the liberation of black people. For instance, here in Kenya, Dudley Thompson is a Jamaican barrister, came to Kenya and went ahead and argued the case against the first president of Kenya, ladies and gentlemen, during the colonial period. See how these guys are so good. Yes, I know there are some bad fellows out there, but I also strongly believe that there are more good Jamaicans than bad Jamaicans. Yep, that's the way it is, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching my videos up to this point. And of course, subscribe for those people who have not subscribed. And yes, I know I am making a little bit changes. I am doing test and run. I want to finally start making my own videos without depending so much on third parties videos. Soon I'll also be vlogging, like I've said. Soon I'll start vlogging and going to Jamaica and creating a new way of making videos, which is good. You feel proud when you make your own videos like this, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, continue supporting me, continue subscribing to my content, and see you again in my next video.